Hello guys and welcome. Today, after a week of building for Enshrouded's build competition, we have been given a sneak peek as to the planned updates and new features coming for Enshrouded in 2024 with the early access roadmap. Thankfully, we do have a roadmap here and we're able to zoom in on it and have a closer look at all of the images and everything that they've mentioned. So we're going to offer our critique and our thoughts on this and what might be coming in the future. So the first thing that I wanted to draw our attention to is the Hollow Halls dungeons. This particular dungeon is, I believe, the exact same one that we saw in a recent news post from Keen, which you can see here. And we can also see from this the different materials that are being used. There's this lovely stonework with this red trim. We also have this green luminescence, which is nice addition. Perhaps that's glass. I do believe that this, though the first rendition may be a selection of dungeons that we can visit and do with our friends, that they do plan to make them instanced dungeons later on, which means that they will be different from the outer world. So we can have a different experience every time that we enter them and make a nice change given that the map is static. There's the potential for this to be procedurally generated maybe, or maybe just have different enemies. They're also going to be officially supporting the Steam Deck, which is fantastic for those who have it. And as can be expected with an early access game, we are going to receive some more performance improvements and smoother high FPS gameplay. We also have location improvements. I'm not quite sure what this means. Perhaps they're going to do another pass on the locations that we have in game and improve on them. But personally, I think they've done an excellent job so far. The next item shown off is the improved loot UI. I don't think this is a necessity at this stage in the game. I think it works fine as is, but it's always nice to see them focusing on the general feel of the game, improving that for everyone. We then have the workshops craft from magic chests. This is something that will be really useful when it comes to automating your settlements a bit more. But another thing that I'd love for them to add in addition to this is building from your magic chests as well. If you place your build resources in a magic chest, you should be able to build within the area. But lovely to see, and it will mean that we can place items into a magic chest and then the workshop linked to it will hopefully use those resources to produce items. Better stack splitting, another nice quality of life addition. And then we have multiple MPC instances. This is absolutely needed if you're going to be playing on a server or with multiple people, each with their own base. So having that will mean that anyone can speak to the NPCs and use them for producing items without having to steal them from your friend's base or head to the main hub area. Next, we have the reassignable glider shortcut. And I think this refers to using a different button other than spamming spacebar to activate that. Sitting on furniture, something I think everyone has mentioned. There's no point building these beautiful bases if you can't just chill in them at some point. We then have the improved post-processing. This is going to improve the look of the game for some. And we have down here new building materials. I actually believe these are the same materials that we've seen in this image here. So we have this kind of block and the red trim, and you can see that we've got some kind of trim around these, and then also this brick as well. There is a green glow, but I wonder if that's a new material glowing down on this, changing the color. Either way, super excited. I love the building mechanics. It's possibly the best game when it comes to building in the game. And I'm currently working on a video tour for my temple build, which was featured in the build competition most recently. So if you are interested in that, do make sure to subscribe for more. We then have potted plants, giving our outposts, our bases, our homes a more homely feel. We then have round doors and windows. This is a very Hobbiton-esque doorway, and it's going to be really cool seeing what people build with it, and I'm always down for more buildables game. We're also going to receive more trees that we're able to grow in our bases, which is nice, seeing as we only have access to 2 of them at the moment, giving our bases a bit more variety. And I'm definitely down to more farming options, though I do still feel that we need some big improvements to farming to reduce the amount of clicking and work that it takes to farm. We then have the replayable world quests. This will allow anyone to jump in the game and play the quests, even if they've already been done. A nice little addition so that anyone joining at any point has the option to play about with them. Better quest sorting, another quality of life improvement. Server gameplay settings. I'm really interested to see how they work these settings and what we'll have available to us. One thing that I want for the game is difficulty sliders, because for me, on the whole, it does feel very easy, and which is why we're working on a permadeath run both on YouTube and Twitch at the moment. So again, do check them out when they come out. And other settings I'd love to see are a way to disable the respawning of resources in the world, or at the very least, like I mentioned before, chests, items. Server user rights, so you can have moderators for your servers if you're running a big server. Musical instruments. I think this is something that will be fun to have in a group, but whether it adds anything to the real gameplay, I'm not sure. Editable signs are the next one, and this is probably the biggest request for me at the moment because it is so difficult organizing everything. This is going to be so useful. We then have the vanity system. I'm not quite sure what they mean by this, whether it means that we can transmog various items so that they retain the attributes but look different depending on what we personally prefer, or if it's a different system altogether. We then have townsfolk NPCs. Whether this means that we have new NPCs coming that are going to be usable, like the craftsman, I definitely suspect that will be the case, and we'll go on to that shortly. Or it might just be some survivors of the shroud, and we're able to rescue them and bring them to our towns. There are then townsfolk pets. I wonder if we'll also have the ability to have our own pet companion wandering around with us. And another big feature is animal farming. So with animal farming, we're going to be, by the looks of it, able to breed animals. This does suggest to me that we are going to receive another craftsman. I don't think this will be necessarily linked with the farmer, but instead we'll have someone related to husbandry, allowing us to tame various animals depending on what crafting items we have available. Something that I'm very excited for. Next, we have enemy patrols. I think this is the safest way to introduce more enemies to the game without it being raids. I'm for raids on bases, specifically if you build a base outside of a flame altar, which obviously we can't at the moment, but if we could build outside flame altars, the flame altars would be the safe areas that couldn't be attacked. They're defended by the flame, and bases outside of that could be raided by enemies. But I feel very much in this game we do need reasons to build in different biomes, which we don't really have the need to do that. The weather system was highly voted on the feedback site. I always find it helps add variety to the game, but I didn't expect it to be so highly voted. It really does come down to, though, whether it's just going to be a visual thing or something that impacts the way that our characters interact with the world. Are they going to lose their rested bonus out in the rain, for example? Or will there be negative impacts if we're out in the cold or stuck in a storm? Nameable Map Locations. This is a huge addition. Very much excited for this. I feel that we could have more marker options as well at the moment, and I'm sure if we have nameable map locations, that will be an option as well. Alongside that, nameable bases, portals to other servers. This could be interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to implement this. Could you have a friend server linked to yours so that you can travel to it? I think this would just make it easier to go back and forth between the worlds, but isn't a necessity because you could just hop out of the game and jump back in. And then the confirmed first extension to the map is going to be the mountains biome. Very exciting. It's going to be really interesting seeing what they bring to that, but I'm sure we will be receiving some new clothing items, new materials, and new craftables from that. Multiplayer pings are another quality of life improvement, and the ability to have named tombstones, I think just so that you can determine which tombstone is yours and not your friends, is going to be useful. And then we have new enemies and bosses. This was a big one, but kind of expected anyway. It'll be interesting to see if they're just adding new enemies and bosses in the other biomes, or whether they're also going to renovate and improve the enemies that we currently have and offer more variety in the world that we have at the moment. I don't know if this is the Sickle Scythe or a new enemy, actually, looking at it. It looks like the Oh no, this looks like the Banshee, but it's not. Interesting. So this is actually a different enemy altogether, and it looks like it belongs to the same group as the corrupted skeletons that you can find in the temples and catacombs. Very nice. And then obviously fixes and polishing. On top of that, we also have a glimpse of what they plan to bring for major updates later on this year. And I'm pretty excited. Again, the sharing and visiting of bases seems to be kind of linked to the portals to other servers as well. But perhaps it also suggests that we will be able to assign different rights to people visiting our worlds. Then there's the create and share gameplay experiences. This is a really interesting one. I'm not sure what this means. If you guys have any suggestions, do let me know in the comments below. My immediate thought was some tool for being able to craft our own levels, but that seems a little bit out there. But I don't know how else they'd expect us to create and share gameplay experiences. Next, we have world events. This is kind of exciting because it's going to bring variety to a static world map. There may be areas where there's a boss, such as what you find in Diablo, or perhaps different areas of the world may change for specific events, which could add a bit more variety to the game. Either way, I'm really interested in seeing what they do with this, and I'm very excited for it. We also have water confirmed. Now, this one was an interesting feature request by a lot of the community. There's a lot of lore in the game about why the water has dried up, and I think that works for the game. But at the same time, I think having water in different biomes could be really cool. Would we be able to sail across them, such as in Valheim? I think could be a great addition and work fantastically in the different areas of the map that we haven't got access to just yet. Obviously, more biomes will be coming as well. Currently, we have, 5 or 6 different biomes off the top of my head, and this is just 1/3 of the map that we have access to so far. So we can certainly expect a lot more biomes, and that's really exciting as well, because with each biome we do have craftables, more build items, and that's what really excites me when playing a game like this. And we then have instanced dungeons. This is going to be really useful, I think, for making the game more engaging once everyone's run around and explored the whole of the map. And I think this could be a way to fix the loot farming. If you're not able to build bases within the instance dungeons, then you won't be able to farm the items, and presumably in an instanced dungeon, that will be where you get the best armor and weapons from. Now, this is all well and good having this, but what about when we will start receiving these updates? Well, it's actually mentioned at the bottom of this post. Update when? This month. So it looks like we can certainly expect some of these to come within the next couple of weeks. Most notably, I think the hollow halls, given that we've already received the image, the teaser image of the dungeons, that is expected. If we'll receive anything else, I don't know. Are they going to package these as larger updates or just small elements that they're bringing with various patches? Either way, I'm really excited. I just don't want to be let down by this. So I am controlling my excitement, and I hope they promise less and deliver more. Either way, I'm really excited seeing where this is going. But there you go. That is everything that has been confirmed in the roadmap. And I hope you found it interesting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But we are going to leave it there. So if you did enjoy it, please do hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Special thanks does go to our Solar Eclipse Patron, Firefless, as well as our Lunars, the Calamity, Ben, and Star, and our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Brain Slug. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.